Mewarba, an America Tinua, Robert, Lagi, Kachiapi, Babu Perebaradit, Nilo Bangapabu, Nilo Bangawat, Lobang Tinachi. Tinua Meamara, Robert, one of Gami, Yotman, Amedu ini warrior bang, Indo ini bin leo kedua, leo me giki, kudi cihawan begana, udah begana, udah dong. One of Gami kene mara di tuan, Gami kene boga di tuan, Amedu ame mara. Bet kalsel kedua, like kedua, sekali water bear kudi kuch, like wayne. Ayeni do ba winya ati be wai kisani be yeso Kristo gatwa papara mia chen kede pera boru ya biro wotama oponi ene be che kede bo na tamaye na kado to baro minwa en ko me do pe en biro ko Dongata me yen pebiro tawani na petu angeyoni akom mera gire tie ko en biro churi lobo ikare me agiki dani koma bina na ala shel krewa de dana morpe iya biteni wan pokelo bine lobo dan pokelo bine ru ya ye ruwa tena ni wa Charles Robert Obada ayo kwani tino para ba irwa ko wo opino nanno papara mia shel de pira boro ya boro ana meo chore lego by condition ai la melobo amayam chori ni ko hawa kriya tariya meri kena mewela duo wando tio ba ka duo prodi ide mola duo ino ba de larwa pe wengwa optionality amarot pino perfect ngam kwan amoyo Pai Pak,
Tangere, Bukwo, Dulwa, Wishan, Bukwo, Oro Yesus Kristus. Dua paraba, ya karena cerita para Mario, ameti mata yang mupore, suara merapa, sakare periode yang bisa, nah periode yang siap, mata yang mupore. Apa orang cakap periode yang bisa nak periode yang cakap. Waktu para dia bermain, periode bermain dia bermain. Saya cakap mana mana. Di mana no? Orang luar di mana? Pian mobjek di noro, ame umu, amon biru yabu, amon biru yabu kan le. Karena kita ame okano, amon biru meye. Kopa mera ko binwi bingajon ko munije donc ginna me abu me wiru raburu ko pere bibie boli nuoro jo amene hokko eto bom torne ko tibo eto tuore nuoro no ba ameti kere toe mende ko tibo kere ko indena achura rio Bomo caro cenda pa. Eto bom cie moro ya kinagi ame poro pe akur pa rumong ngeo. Eto una naga yeru uparo iwe dongol luru piru tek meche akara churapo. Wakpara ba kwanwa me ario Yogi ke Yesus Kristus.
apoyo wa Yesu yo Anatolia enda kisa Yesu mara yayo mochia aredusi wa Yesu Yesu ya pa Tekel wachide di kuruchie kede bot meko podang ba ame hotelo ya moya elira kadong girat kayo kadang kelogi ginta tuna ba about siwa po kadang podang jobe pasyu pe mino kamu hatinwa maya mara meno enlaire kanisaman St. Thomas api Papsi wana poye di Wanibino Damo Machinwa Mea Mara Wana chie kede program apebo Program peti chie kukwa Mukanisha kan Kidoni Kwan Kado pano Eka Tedo kumbu Kita won dede Nakaya kiti Jika program aromang wen Bonyo Beach Mea chie Na wana chie kede gamo Achinwa Mea Mara, Belerabat, Kas, Me Chawa and the Wanogame, and don't keep Kadisha. And a rekai tea api. I will do in a whale, when you pay pass you, like a about you walk up, a Tinua, Mea Mara pass you. Manana program Mea Mario, Nutemo, Binobeda Ching Chegu, Kunuru, Tichua, Mecha Teach, Medopelawa. Me Nadisawa, me adik, tadagam wele, Ginda Tejute Botwa Olerejo Moya Kadisawa Me Adie Jumna Telewigi Bedo Canon Bedo Telewijo Telugi Me Angwenere Bedo Winyo Poato Chichiptual Bien Edabo Rere Bedo Dihi Nabu Winyo Chichiptual Uno Udo Kwayo Dana Bepashu Narate Telewiha Binomeyo, Yomeyo, Eka Endang Tenyutiwa, Yome Pashu. Bagi Kimere, Rotewinyo, Hopalba, Nodo, Robert Charles, Alo Kedwa, Chikowa, Kede Kopoba, Ewan Biruin. Kama Murutu, Nodo Kwanyo, Kome, Nodo Peri Pasumere, Pebo, Yo Pengeo, No Gate, Ameyowa, Kitamewot, Aducharo. Manano malo kita be program wa awon kede durne ruperi pelaj ketuan be bando me ada kwayo kare man beti teach bagam kede YouTube yomogo amewan uti pegi edo telawa mechanism chiuche kwa yesu An amea check of Kidwini, and abedo Benabo Reverend Joel, Elen, abedo Archibishop, my Barmedia, Archibishop, for Yesu. You carry Maradi to one of the on a gum root twelve, for you might take, but you want to take, abedo one of you, the now, poor quiet, you know, better chunguno, be a later cheer, at a bar, and very deposition, for Yesu Christ. I kill that boat, Bemara. Moya ibu tin bekineno arbere bishop wa ranwa gede chwalo kwena me umugi arasiel kede jol wa chalo wa mi bungeri tinene wa tuga motinwa Charles kadisha kadali legi na gede chwalo kwena me kuechi kwena me piangich arbere bochika to kone kede jopashu de udi tanyu gede chida wunyu letere kupogi Angko payo ni udah ganggu bot, jadi poin apa kunci moya mana wow yes. Waktu cir malam, jemagi cak pedo tela mereka disa, tela mereka kuat, me tela bukan kuat. Arasiel ya chung malo tewe bodjo tela meka kwat ini ada bab chingwa po mi wono po ya biga mo nkas pa shu ko me poro me ugo tela me atini kudari ame tie wo chung malo wa chen mo pa ye wo to me atini kudari me bino e bo to yo chichik twal kaka yo ado chung Bano pero tela ba jadi benar baci wada pogi bibiro gamo bela cinwa meamara adong wano ko ini bondo yo kata tela ba jadi poi
po urut ba po urut ania como vale coba pero termo freestyle para me dar aqui com ele para me dar aqui com ele que de Paris da Rio que já para me dar ena wan pi ali gloria pi Paris akaka tela ya aqui com ele eu freestyle deixo para me dar aqui com ele ye ajol oba Roman malo di yupo mimi wa bela tie me gamo con Robert Charles Ogwang Ganisha mimi na mewan nywa ko pelego ada be ma giki ya po un dojo me biro no mo papa me biro chungkelwa chungkele pasio kuona gobani Nino tanto di bunyi kaji di merokok. Kerewan di dosu tiap rem iwawan dosu So, Bukwo Bugina Paul, and Apoyo Medi. Amen.
Adung sayo met dikmari bini gamo welewa meopino wendao do tikere karman begamo yakinawa balukewa dishu mewunitie uno ubiro gamo tino mara Charles udo ya chumba chumo malo arasio Check it look Mayorka.
Above Kole Bless.
Check it look Mayera. Yes, Peter. Malakor, boy, Matang, check it look. Check it boy, method to practical.
Santa Moa, Yai Nom, Banner.
Boy, Matang, my baby tea. Mojol, Odinam, the Apostle, Matia, you know, okay. Take it. Look about for Allah. Long boy, Matang, my baby tea. Take it, Apostle, Joel, Pinquan, Olsen University, boy, Matang. However, Gam, Yakinawa, Dire, way. Medici kedua, boyo mepino kam. Jika dengar ciel kucing ciel pucat, mana jadi Reverend Charles oleh babci wapoe di Binodamo. Jika the Reverend Simon Util intio bericiel pucat, poe matai Simon bericiel kamu Charles kadisha. Check it out, I'm away. Christopher Ogwang, boy, Mate, baby, no gamo, Charles Kadisha. Check the Venerable Michael, Alfredo Yubi, and now bedo. Achidikon, bedo away. Babsi, what a boy.
I came to the Pan Primary School from P1 to P7. Mona mohat Pierre Wabero, Pierre Wade, Pierre Wade. They would Comboni College, Senior 1 to Senior 6. In Comboni. After from there, they would Macquarie College, in Macquarie University, Kampala. They want to take it for Panaroko, Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences. They got a team of postgraduate diploma, Kampala, Dokunu, Pierre Wade, Pierre Bukwo going to Pierre Bukwo Beach, Mono, the secondary education, Jambogo. Eka take one certificate in administrative law, you check, that open public administration, common law, you open master's degree, Mono, Kampala International University, the lecturing at NTC, or Gama Pike District, Utio Chalo. Jago, dia calon assistant CAO, dia calon assistant town clerk, Gugu Yam kan dia calon assistant town clerk, dia calon deputy CAO, principal assistant secretary, mereka sudah promoting yang lebih deputy CAO, jadi Yam, ya waktu Yombe, ya Yombe itu waktu Rua, ya Rua, waktu Kidgung. Thì cái cùng nó nằm ở đây Bukwo District, ame chia thì cùng cho cùng cái nhà tụi, và này, monu kita nó ở tiêu, và này cái quan cái này cái này nó, thì trên đây nó tiêu thì chỉ bốn là không phải, em nó cái năng đọc cái related to quan này, rồi đi cái gì mà nó theo, em nó bây giờ cho nó board members, như chairperson of Red Cross Society, uyang sub branch. Nah, mana ni? Oh, ini rangklan, मैं बेरो कहवानी, और बेरो मिनिस्टर मैं तो लोगो, ना हिचा दो ना टॉनी, बेरो मिनिस्टर मैं तो लोगो. Pero yo mau kita dah hasil lihat kita pina bero, pino bero, nanti di mana putih di lokasi dua ribu pekan, pen de yo me boy si en guapo tu chọc piero yo ade vedi di America tu chọc piero a vero a me yo rita a me ni o pone tu pura tip a me cholo me repeti yo mono papa kum nyala America di partner ke di chere a me tu kudu bina no apa ai dong me o pelo to ni kita do no to ke isia a biche lo tiero Bici bici tiada dong orang buru bawa tu cah bici dah kepir bici avero. Orang mucim, kami orang boy madam ma ni anu cipa peti amak kono di off. Kami kau ni enu cile yo kampala tu dia dua tungi. Bicawa baru ke hadek main kono. Dong upaya tu riang kena ko bom military parks. Dong wan macam cari sampai pasuk. One year roi and work to go your chat Gala Lucky Ikuma Bear to more Tiotaha. Okay, I can't away the Hatura, maybe the Nana Vero, a yard of it, the Natura Tia, the White Nana Vero, who do Piabando, Recamica, I do, what you call Taha, about to wait to take that. TNC which is a Ciota, if I went a bear, we'll back pass. Or then what you pass back, then we pass the Yao. Orang tak mau macam tak hanya urut kam di ni, mak tak hanya gul dah kau jadi kam di ni, tapi tak hanya kam di ni urut mak. Kau orang simpan rumah ni biar beda lah. Tiada orang beri ni diku cakap ada ya cakap lagi orang tu ya urut, kita urut kan aja. Kita nunggu dong. Kita harap kan mau ciri ni, tak ada tu dia ni. Wang tu modal guru beda tu ye hera. Dong kita keluar ni, banyak kau kalau lu tu beri kene, peminu malah cian mana lu tu bende, nak lu dia jelle, lu tim bende, ye, biar lu biar bicara kan beri kau bende tahu, eka bebinu, kapal kan lu beri, nunggu mana nunggu kau itu mulau, tahu apa, utiu dah post mortem kau, out dari A+. Awal ni, awal macam apa tero, isen. Rota tadi kasih benda kasih lagi ya, awal yo kan lagi ya, sepita saja engine ini dongi aberapi. Akhirnya briefly mau amati meren dong kita mau kena dah, aberapi cielo kini duku recharge jeru abis, amo tu cukup motor kas tuj, cielo komedi tuj, balon lupa ya. Siapa ada yang nak tahu, orang cielo dong motor kas lupa buat, tapi tak ada lagi deh, ada banyak orang yang kita cielo lagi kan, cielo kan. Doa itu tahu, jadi cuci lah, orang itu cuci lah, tak kena masak, motor lah cuci biar ni, baru kita mati meren tu. So briefly, mau kau tahu ni, apa yang tak?
Waktu gamma tira, dah kata terus ini jimkanan. Kalau Robert Kelsey ya, Lodiyo, karena orang kabi, yo marat, karena orang berkerja, karena orang berkerja, karena mau tinggal lu. Tupur kira-kira dua kali ya. Dulu dia ada dua kali tu, jangan tupur pain, ada tu tangan sadangan. Mana dah kata kereta, nak dia ni. Ramadan berbeza, kaki nalar nak buat, kena besar boy. Omega tu, ya orang yang malu, jangan dulu. Omega tu Amerikan. Kalau beli yang ni apa? Yang kalau mereka tahu kan? Mereka tahu kalau curi ya, yang jual dulu. Mereka tahu gini tu. Orang tahu. Mana dia? Mata ni.
Beri langir rekane. Pak beri, amo nyuale berikan. Karena dah hani. Anak nama cung peyakin. Uji dikuen.
Okay, malah udah bete. Oh. Upoya makai, wadong ujang lewara adalah ya uraya. Kalau kira kuba, karena ini kuba. Wadong jang lewara adalah, wara adalah kira lo, bang jiwa kau yang. Ada kau ni kalau kuba dah lakukan. Kira jam apa tu kuba yang bertinggi. Dia baru mana dia robat, ena dah kuayu, nyingro pakai. Mungkin kuci. Nya municipio kilo, utang menira. Utara menira, ya kakan tiye, pedo logo. Ti kona kasih muzai lagi musa doayo, minta maduong, ti kasa rumah Samuel. Jika saya tiada dong, anda bawa dong, pas kue lu dong dua. Mama tuera kita, mama tuera
Pap, Wood, Chin Maleng. Look, Kendong, Amarut, and a Maturqui, Twinwa, Namadori, Twinwa, Hericartia Bear, Yomotia Raj. Dan Kono one punya di kopi, Kono one punya yang ngeri. Ini ni bear, mereka nyatino ko, Robert Chucks, Nyai Chan Meloboni. Pian nobody dan pepashu. Udong kena rem twin, pian teacher mu put Paul. Panjang mu put dom Malaysia. Ada cari ini beruan nere, indai beruan wa, indai medelok kedua, medekui twin wa, cakar nak umur cecak kampara. Entim purtiu medekere, niyo kay binichok bihi, karcel kedi yonge. Ini medekui twin wa, pian ruot, mana berbinatai. Medana dana peramokannya. Itu yin kiken eneramodi cuiwa kenji meneberwan watishu. Kogo bet beri dokter dua mana nau ni no bapa word ba cuy mana. Amen. Kebedi. Amera meyo ba poche tutual. Thì kamen yeho academy botwa ba thì nhà cột mà gigi kaname menwa dinwa church yom lagi Saint Thomas kan nuana kon kikar dia nendong ngope kon kinwa kirkom poyo du tuchmo tiu chapapat jagare Kampala binong ke depositono buat kira-kira karena cek kira-kira Puan de gun na pashu pidi chui na puru pa ni kitu wer kere no wer koko ba udidi chunywa udi wer chunywa pian won tan pola ro kere weno wan gishu ni na walang tia kurwa kora po asdikon pemia kare na koko pakikare ya asdikon ar mereni ene nyuteni ana be retired when Reverend Alfred Michael Yugi Pasana Tila Rakano the Jordan Willa Bishop Yakinawa Nigoba Papo work in the Chimale Penkop Amerormia Nimir Tigere Ichik Kunyu Jorlo Kumiro Pasatan Tini Unu Kinormir Timere Menlo Balno and Uremo a moment Barako and Tuan Lao Unu Kinormir Timere Melo Bal Moy Remo a Mome Barako at Tuan Lao Nataromate Mukurgino Ubero Kaba 1 year Mediketu Twinwa Kirigenwa Kiritamwa Ikomenoba Ia kina jomi duin chawan nero rat de ameti widogoni Oba omeo yobere tie kere kop dog again kun kobo kere koman niki menyo betie ginenyo bedaman ginenyo bedaman dan dusu tabere tie ete karamo tunu ketadani dogo jama ngwen adir tadema me chen Kansil mepolo benimiti amau ba eru beruan kom dangin ta por ko ego te ke moga ni chui uno dano chalwa chui dano ame chal kerwa mono ber moga amau ber por ina tek to twan amau mi ko da pat gino kene che bisu yunge Ko mari yote beri tieni Oba Teti kerchie Mekwanyo logo Dai logo no kwanyo chia Ene yete ngino Istai lere Ikiru ma ura Techi yu chan dano Kerchie Koko makoba Dan kita mo keru kere Kita dano kone tikere Kere jo ngi mo mekom dano Kita lero kate kere Kita chubu kubere kere Oba Otiyo kere shien Me dek Oba Teti kere Awura me doge Miyami iye Ameta kuti dano Itao te gamu Ti amonu ti ler arema Te gamu Dano te nungu kwa Dan remo Kere tao Te chako tik Kuna tao buku Cakare nino nasa Kuna nakatin Eka mangwen Apir te Kuba tenen na jomi ducha me kerisha Na buhay ni be Teko gani Jahano Ena miro lao kina karamerisha tui Jamati yam Jamati logo Jamati ipi Gindusu Uluoro dano Dang uoro dano Bien Obama Miodano Obero the crown of his creation Nyo Upogo Chetere Kiridano Tabi it were a deep measure Nimiro lao gina karisha dishu Do man Miodano Perukin appearance check measure Potoba Abeo mio ba Ge Ikom ngata me kwanyo kwa Angata ene kirisha lere Kumpo beri yikere Kumpo beri miri mere Kumpo beri shawa mere Kari du mingo Oba ngoye Dan temo kinari Eno mio One no kabiri mogo Icho chisil Ame mogo Tamo ba no Bechel Oba Okerishik Apa Ame iturane ni buk me ya Chora piario no iturane no Ilo do chik chora beach Edo dusu Chik nama bishel Kogani Walk in neck. Now, better guy shake. Tay lem lao. Going attack Pierre. In a pole. At la mono. Probably. Do not murder. Dana neo murdering. I do lay you slaughtering. You never start looking. I don't get a bit of murder. They look in the mobile down. I may not take company. Premier neck down. Monoco with a sheep. Number Bishop. I made logo. Number yoke again. The Chico Bado do get to put down. The number general never win or dog to put red. I got number big. Happy report. I want to buy widow when you are. I made out with a bar made over me. Put down on you are. Mono look immediately on about bar. And then I look here at take out the logo. The video. Come my neck. When you name, Giro bar. Tie, Ikum Natame, never neck. Putting a toro, Idoboni, a tenoba. A male bar, Kedro, without a purpose. Putting a top Kedro, no. Jopita Moba, Nuker Doboni, Nuker Putian Cook, a Mepina take Bore, Dangan New or Mere Kedro. Dangada no Tiokin, a mere Kedobo, Payoko, no teacher too. Tung, Natame, Monoqua Dano. Kun pober miroba, kun chao ba, beti yuki na mono amikano ti peru tum, chweri chunyo ba, yo ba waye. Wangi coba nono, dorkwano, eto pogwano karasiel, ejekiri, para goro, pierdekwe rio. Kubukani, yo ba peyuma tuan, ito adano. Perempuan yang kena duit, dia kira apa aku berdekar dia. You bawa peyum atual itu ada anu. Tapi nyuruh ni ngata bedung ngorang thọ ada anu ngorang kono. Cuba bedung kono thọ bedung pun medek kami bawa ye bertiber kumdano. Lalu berke depan dia kau tiba siap. Ye ni thọ bedung tie. Dan aku bedung donggola kami jauh guru kiri kuah. Ento you bawa peyum ye atual. Dari ku mai karbai tu pun kiri dong kenam. Kenapa ketudano umupu mir ni dano miru toa eno miru do kerja mario yak mekwa kriat mate kunuri parwa ubo erate pote cham yak go kunpio cham kunuri dano pata ngadoro mo ko bini kar kunyu do do tie bir ka kwene jopano ngeo kina mo lo the planets tie pul dama Doa itu kena dongulu orang kini tiada pun. Amonu, obare habi kuah, Allah pakai nak kudu lo perupa. Cuma kita ya, set kita dan ma deket oken, ma rio dong kira, biar oken, biar oken dong tunjuk. Unu orang apa? Dong iu ma aku beli ma tuan itu ada no. Mono, kira mere tidikan no. Pemono keken. Jabuli biya sila para bisyan tiya para bi kamera pokwan. Kubira kwa ni kaya kabikiro ba ato pire tek mechen bore. One two when you gonna besho. Ameshan sitting. Anai TV kita job di Bukwo District. Dia demonstrating kere. Kere kopi bejo ada kopi TV. Ni water kunu okera longa. Demi yumun nyuat na pul Malaysia. District ini itu water kunu pikarbu berkini. Omia longa nutia bila be Malaysia. Jual nutia demonstration. Dari jual nutia wang, jual nutia kokusu, nutia kokera kemo. Bida, kemudian mereka mati wani. Karena kaya darah nutia wang, bikin besu, mau nu ente demo. Kalau dong iyo ba teruang ngengok. Biar gigi mereka iyo. Ni cel sunumir kong tim. Jomor dong malam kong. Beda di mereka. Miu ba tercetek. Beda iya yang atau kene. Miu ba tercetek. Beda menek kita gila dia ada mir di darah dia ada mir tim. Mir show mereka. Itamu ni iyo ba iyo miye. Iyo ba apa iyo. Kumuru. Ada kurngoni iyo ba. Dan peyum kiri. Ikut kita mati mono. Do miu. Ngata mekiru buat kata kiti. Nen demonstration di mana? Nen jo beri series of meetings. Berapul penui doa wan dan yik mai loko teru kana mir terie tuma be ko bi disen bari be tie oba charana ko malaika mere mai kuru nie oba charana ko malaika mere mai ko pashu mina tata kiri dino kiri kwai kiri jo mere oba charana ko jo mere mai biru ko ganno family protection oba ti ko serie bien ngata begini kata pirete borre hukum gire edongeni oba godjene yuma etimo yore po ko witong abo ko me ku chui ame mirwan kum edo nyurne wana be jo me ye obede jo me geno ba obede jo me chui ko ba kita da wera pene opo yesu Jodoh ti seriously one ikan one bisu ukwenya kena wa unu yora rio attack mechel buka gege kayu ni kwana chura ngwen kita mekhi no bola kedu minere abel abonu pe baloro amenu kiru mege shel petir team era te wuti yer ko be tende ko ka piano ba ba mota ke en pete ka mere te lo kini ba mar ke en to maro abel en pete mare so te mi tende ko minere ame pe bal o ba mi e pon me shel lobo ame o ba mi e purcha o cheno ko ginora ber ba ya lo na pe ene come dan chen dum de pero kai come ame ka ti come te lo ke ni tino mere te lo ke ni kwae chen rat ame miru yin ke an wan du sukan se ke de no ate hare kono to ere o bokku ne tino wa ko dan ne dano ke lo cheno adung mi ulo dan chen na kosho de pe bere be pe che ko chim de ma du ti mere logo pe mo no ki ken yin ngato no chen nu peru romi ida bere alang ping ame wuru ba no gole oro ping lui ilobo dum nek udaro berbina rai ame kanu na kuyakin attack tie eka kuyakin mario mondo ka ba kwan ngatunu elewa ena gege selo chora bongwen tie bi kera bisi
bongwen tie bi ta komuni ka tie on rewu ana bino pire bangle mo leken kire bangdano moro ngata mo kwanye ko adano ngata mo kwanye ko ngato chele andang abino mito ko mere ngato no dusu ame onyo rema dano obino mi udan dano onyo remo mere piendo ba ojo dano ichallere boy oba ojo dano ichallere ko come dan for a special purpose ame mirene ki de jodan pie mircho mere yininga kandung pingo abe mi mirtiere ne ko dano lui kero ketku ko pien lui chokwa oba ame miru bokari attack nesi do ngata moti mo ko ginno oba ko ni ene ye pidu pire wita ko ki ko oba na pidu pechas o ko be le kanu eto kitele bla ko yekede to ko ya be kai le mo biru ni anga be rutia ko ni kari le no ne mo dano ene ye pidu le no ene ye pidu le no pinne ginno be kiri chalere amo biru dano weto ko ni yoba wa ya tek nation wa dano piniri ya ame pubiru yiko ba ka ya ame pubiru yiko ba twiri yoba tek nation jo bol ko kiri kwechu ne ko ni oba ye ne beta mono itamo ni yoba mu yum ne mi do ne ko ni Yesu Kristo kan ko biru biru ne ni e nu yo ne mo me la na chuyo chue nen kino tinga ko juda mede kiri kwai jozo mo ku ni re mede bini wi kiri wi dino kiri kwai ni cha dawno tia be so yo ba pe yo matwal ikom to adano ame miro katwere chi pe che chia pe che
Hukum ini kata di mana mana warna kosong pura. Ene yang dulu jen, mana pun dia mokoni. Ene yang new kita miri chul kiri from A to Z. Jangan dia cakap nak dia gigit. Yang kali kuno wek ni, ada hari ni chul pura. Chulu to the maximum, you to the expectation. Chulu to the kaname, grounded value. Make one adano, go to buy. Jokin demo, Pianui, Johnan Jawa. At the poor, Takan Melira, Pinana Wuru, Kidrat Yakovakere, the bad one, return. Don't when you get a back. And the Kada Muno, Kikanamokwan, Magiki, Danda Chipko, Kini, kan itu mengo, ginor mirti mere dan anak boy pen kopa yeno. Kan itu mengo, ginor mu mirti mere. Amenda ngomil video ba, kudu tu ere tim ginor. Kene na ur maca, kudu kwanyo. Kuhada anak apira tek kukono tu mebotakan. Mando re kabere sele. Doko ngol dum lao. Dan mende ku lao. Ada balai morpe. Curi. Ngata well matramu itu yor lo de sik par bongwen lo de sik par bongwen dia par chel na ya par de kita magi bu kere no dia par chel na ya par de to koni eto kasih dana moro onu daga wotere ekate be kiye ter weni come amete chobe mekoko ekata no Perni ularo goma ochiel yakira magi odore me poma mere binu chwa yuko oteya meko ikuno otemiye iching achulpu meremo mentang mehoko kisa mirkur magu ikome kire mirluok bunu pal meremo amobe paloko yisarel menyiwu beda ber point tuan nyimlao unu mir beda ber kono remo mebal ame oye remo pebal ro lu yo ko nyimlao ru beda ber kita dia ko bani mir kita pemok ku ko beda sare kita mir pemok ku ko ngatame ni ko dara tek ikano Mala, kayak tiga dekar, abis malu. Ikut uji obama dek, ilo mesarel, amo luar boma melare. Penne kan lo kanan kere terbir macet, cing kena ko bersiap. Dan udah kayak por, ika jomara lo uri lu meto muyen. Eka kumaraj nyuwi lete putte, te cilo ngato kene cia, tene kuko. Munu ada gemara pilih kinagi, dan kenu ur karcel. Dah tipi kancil, dah lu mirwek lek, kalau kita ngomong atau tol, tengok daru goma cia, kalau daru goma nasa, tadi dulu jual daru lu yang uang engor, kalau lu tipu macam, betul mungkin lagi nora, beri goma lu tiap dek, demi hidup ur pempeng tiap tu ni, kan ngator, amo lu tidak dage, kini ngator, ada demi kiyu ngator cia, adu jauh mau nu kare. Eka tem nyu chop bukit tong, nyu te chop bukit para, tenet buko. Enak de pute, nyeng wese daru ko me la recha, me we pu nene. Buko beli, jo atekar me po me, jo me po me re. Miru won, on daru choko, to de mi yubut jo enu ne ko jo ki chia. Me we ke nan ne ko, da de ku ni ki samiru pepe di kum jo. Me ko beli we ko, yen ka we ko, kurgina chala manu, alili chare ko. Pienmu ayo remo amo bebal monu ko po bay ko mono do ka wa nu kubo twa atin mani nyu jomo nu tianda ko bo nyu jomo nu ti ko mi ko angeni do tiade investigation no ti ja police dunia ni ongwana yo ada nu ti biru pashu e ka jo lebo ki dunia ni ta kilo da yo me Joy lingnu dan ko bani modunu information na mi ngai ni ta anoi no jodo feder bullet pier yo we bit kum dara shell adam to dugu ada ti wutu wotere e ka ta nekko ada do nyo utakwa ina wala tere memu kukae ni nono utenu ni en utambe dawo ni msazi kome nyurne monone me akaka ame kuri chorane je ko boni kuri munno kesa no me pe mas ye bien oyo remu amome bal ka mete ka kuri remu amome bal lo mete oy bien kuri jono wego bien kuri jono wego tenu ni no balo ko no mama yukada biru mete balle akeu ba biru mete bir kum do wali dan temi kon pe wote chui ki no mir chui kede temi jono no mir bet ki no mir bet kede pe bedo bien no muta balo ko jo ameti kede toer onu mir yen kuri jone na zero level yo ka no ne chulo ki kede chula merate kede kuri chachi biru me yo no lo khere dan biru me ko ne kalani di pingo biu o wono wa tungi arata mono kunjo lote tikere honesty jote tikere chunya be jote tikere duro ba
roto ba mai ni pore ni be ni ne wi kwena ni kwena me chwe twin kwena me kachore o tiu jamar reshu yo jower kara chien benu do tiu gino te ma ko te ne ki abo kisha ba ko ni karo timo ni ko matinwa ni yene jonu te nuere jonu mu bir pete kisha yine na me churu ko wan we kichi i chuinwa delwa mi wadan kwena ni koywa be wotu wot me ni yeka kar kuru yugo ko wa be obe ba jo amotimo kina rati ko matinwa ni mumi be ni tu winu kwa kwenda cheki Yesu Kristo wa amen
moyo bapti wa kwa kwena ba kama ni ko bereke no bange mo matie kwa udi Yesu kwa yele wade keno bot tucha ro kwa yo utala ko me shandu me yapo service.
lani mi twin mi gum mede nyayo be dabo na mi ti kere pe nyayo kere bi ti dewni du wora be ni mi ko me la wa amen umi ko mai de kere lego na madu ni ti kere ni ka yo yo wa de ni to kere chara mani ni yo bi apa boy wa kan ni ti twin ya kita ni ko ada lo ko ye kere kare ti jammi ama yino ba ni tiu adong ni kwanye ni iweki wadong bu iweki wati mi wa note ti jo be ku lo ke kere mara una o ke to ma tiu ko ti tara ni ti ine na me mo gi mungi ine dai ngol ko bi kongi ine te wa chawa ni kama no ya kanu woro paso kere yi ka papa ta ti ni wa ku wa te ko tun kedwa akuora wire kere tamare ju kere kita pe peso Tero ni riego no foi ne tore. Mi wa mau tu chawa kwa chalu mi ko nywa be. Be ko ngera ten mer no man, lo ba beno beno. Kai ni mi wa ko ape mi tum. Dala chelo no te kisha, me ro pa Yesu Kristo, mari ni ba papua. Ni ko ni ko wa tuju ni na ka be tum. Ue kude te kisha kere bo ka be para bang ro ba do mi upum, boko. Ro ba di tiu tum kedu. Bu mer kere ku chere pe ya ko ratin. Kene ni rumah bedroom. Amen. Amen. Boy macet. Lord, bersyukur ke kene dong, dong kene neno. Papa dong, dong ada di sini.
Manners, pronouncements of the entrance of District Speaker, Regional Lao Sub-Region. Thank you.
Council prayers. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and councils for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favors these your servants, whom you have pleased to call to the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessings descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful manner, as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their church.
Under the able leadership of Honorable David Kennedy Odongo, the chairperson of Alepdong District Local Government, and the regional chair of Lao Regional Chairpersons Association, and in collaboration with the Northern Uganda Regional Councils, under the stewardship of the Vice President Olga for Northern Uganda, Honorable Andrew Moses Awany. Coincidentally, the chair of tonight's sitting, who is the Speaker of Alepdong District Local Government Council, is also the regional chair of Lango Speakers Association. We here, sitting today at Api, Kole District, on the 15th July, year of our Lord Jesus Christ, year 2022, Olden, at this time, proclaim as follows. 1. The home of our gallant son be hereby proclamation the precinct of the council sitting to pay tribute to our fallen dear son. 2. All resolutions herein be northern regional resolutions. 3. Government is hereby required to adopt the resolutions of this sitting as is. 4. This place is hereby gazetted as a precinct of Council of Northern Uganda Regional Council meeting from this time to the lapse of this sitting, given under my hand. Signed, Right Honorable Kenneth Wamara, Speaker, Alepdong District Local Government Council, SWAG Chairperson, Lao Speakers Association. I proclaim. It's adopted. I will request that clerk to council, you go through all the items.
Our items for today's business, item 1 is anthems, item 2, council prayers, item 3, proclamations, item 4, adoption of order paper, item 5, communication from chair, who is the speaker, item 6 is motion to receive the body, item 7, remarks by family representative. Item 8, motion to eulogize the gallant son. Item 9 is remarks by distinguished personalities. Item 10, motion to view the body and laying of wreath. Item 11 is adjournment.
Thank you so much for the adoption of the order paper. As we do it in the council, I will request you to rise up and you catch the eye of the speaker to move the motion. The opportunity is granted to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished guests. All protocols observed. My name is Sarah Aworangweli, female workers representative, Flera City. Right Honorable Speaker, If there is no amendment, maybe any proposal by any member of the council to have an amendment made to this order of business for this emergency council meeting, I would therefore propose that we adopt this order of the business for today's sitting. Thank you.
Is an alternative opinion being raised by the district chairperson of Alepton and the chair of Land Chairpersons Association. Yes, Honorable Chairperson, you are given the opportunity.
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker. I would wish we do some bit of amendment such that the life history and introduction of the family members comes after the motion is moved, the eulogy is done, and then remarks is also done. Then thereafter, we shall have the life history.
I beg for your pardon, Honorable Chairperson.
Yes, I am saying we need to remove number 7, which is communication from the head of the family, and we put it after all the eulogies is made, and then it will be preceded by the laying of the wreath.
Honorable Chairperson, that is a good submission. However, the members of council cannot begin eulogizing when they are not aware of the person whom they are eulogizing. And secondly, in order for them to eulogize very well, they need to know what really brought to the death of the member who is lying before us.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I thought the move of the motion is already conversant with the details of the person.
Mr. Chairman, sir, as council, we cannot anticipate what will happen in the council. That would be out of order, Mr. Chairman, sir. Thank you. A motion has been moved by Honorable Female Councillor representing workers of Lira City. I am now requesting for a secondment. However, Honorable Chairperson, thank you for your submission. You see, in council, all opinions matter a lot. Thank you. Yes, you begin by mentioning your name. We have already set a precedent, and we're being guided by that.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I'm Beatrice Okelo. I represent people of Ngai and Abok in the District Council of Oyam. I'm happy here to second that we use this agenda as a working document of the day. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable Beatrice. As the presiding speaker, I am declaring that that shall be the order of our today's business. Maybe for your own consumption, once again, I request Clerk to Council to reread.
Okay, reading the order for today's business, we have 1 anthem, 2 council prayers, 3 proclamations, 4 adoption of order paper, which has already been done, 5 communication from chair, 6 motion to receive the body, 7 remarks by family representative, 8 motion to eulogize the gallant son, 9 remarks by distinguished personalities, 10 motion to view the body and laying of wreath, 11 adjournment. We are now on item 5, which is communication from chair.
Thank you, Clerk to Council. Before I make my communication, I am inviting a motion for the suspension of some rules, aware that in this council we integrated. We are aware that there are some rules that would prohibit some activities from taking place in the council. So I am inviting a member of council to move a motion to suspend some of those rules that will subject this council to a number of restraints. Thank you. Yes, Honorable.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I am Honorable Boni Ayo. I represent the people of Kole Town Council, the District Council of Kole District. Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, according to standard rules of procedure for the local government council, Rule 11, that allows the suspension of some rules. Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, I therefore do move the motion to suspend the following rules. 1. Rule 4. 2. Rule 9. 3. Rule 115. 4. Rule 112. 5. Rule 113. 6. Rule 15. 7. Rule 16. Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for moving the motion. Secondment. Yes, Honorable. The floor is yours.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, and the distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am Honorable Betty Manda Kelo, female representative for Akalo Town Council, Akalo Sub-County. I stand here to second the motion that we suspend, as today is a special day. I beg to second. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members of council, according to the standard rules of procedure, provides that any provision of these rules relating to the proceedings of business at a meeting of the council or its committee may be suspended by a resolution of not less than half of the members present. Aware that the secondment has been made by a member, I would like to put a question before the Hawker's House, that a motion for the suspension of some of those rules that will prohibit a number of activities from taking place in this regional council meeting of being brought forward. So I therefore put a question. Those ones in favor shall say aye. Those ones having a contrary opinion shall say nay. Can we begin? Aye. The ayes have it. By the virtue of the authority entrusted to me as the presiding speaker of this regional council sitting, I declare that those rules that were unlisted before have been duly suspended. Thank you. Clerk to council, take us to the next item.
Next item is communication from chair.
Thank you so much. Clerk to council. Honorable ministers, in their absentia, the honorable members of parliament, in their absentia, the chairperson of the chairpersons of Lango sub-region, district chairpersons, the city mayor, the district council speakers and your deputies, the resident district commissioners, the chief administrative officers and your technical officers, the district councillors in your distinguished capacities while taking care of the district executive committee members, the health authority chairpersons, the town clerks, senior assistant secretaries, the religious leaders present, the cultural leaders present, dear mourners in your distinguished capacities, I greet you all in Jesus' name. My name is Kenneth Owa, the district council speaker of Alepton and the chairperson of Loud District Stroke City Councils Speakers Association. And in this today's sitting, I have been entrusted with the opportunity of presiding over this special council sitting. Fellow mourners in your distinguished capacities, today as we are convoked here, I must put it categorically very clear that authored by the Regional Vice President for Uganda Local Government Association, that is His Excellency Andrew Moses Awany, who also doubles as the chairperson of Kole District Local Government, requesting me to liaise with the colleague speakers and other council members to convene a special sitting to pay a tribute to our fallen gallant son in the name of Mr. Robert Charles Ogwang. Mr. Robert Charles Ogwang happened to be, thank you, Mr. Robert Charles Ogwang happened to be a son from Lango Sub-Region, and he also had an opportunity to work in a number of the districts in Lango Sub-Region. At the time of his demise, he died when he was the acting chief administrative officer of Bukwo District Local Government. Upon hearing his demise, I think the leadership of local government, our district chairpersons, including the city mayor, felt that it was important for us to pay tribute to him in appreciation and reciprocation for the good things he did for this country, Uganda, that is literally appreciated as being the pearl of Africa. And it's against that background that my office took a remedial action of linking up with the different council speakers in collaboration with the different chairpersons of the districts and the city mayor. And they all okayed the idea of having this emergency or the special regional council sitting. Fellow monarchs, honorable members of council, in your distinguished capacities, as a presiding speaker, I want to appreciate you so much for accepting to sacrifice your time, your resources in financial form, and even yourselves to come and attend this very important council sitting. I want to request you to give an applause to yourselves. That really takes a lot of sacrifice and leadership. For one professor once said that at the time of politics, all will be called politicians because they will be conversing votes and they will use all the persuasive words to ensure that they succeed and get into power. But once you succeed, the politicians will be differentiated from the leaders. And I want to say, as the presiding speaker, that all of you who manage to present yourselves for this special sitting, you are all leaders as opposed to politicians. Thank you so much. And I pray that God, who created the universe and everything that exists on it, should really bless you abundantly. Honorable members of council, it has come to the attention of everyone that if we are to take our region to another level, then we should embrace what is enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Article 176, which talks about the merger or the cooperation of different local governments, and is being operationalized by the Local Government Act, Section 8, which allows that. But however, it's important that as leaders, if we are to move a milestone, then whatever resolutions that we shall be coming up with here, we really need to take to our different councils for ratification. At an appropriate time, if we feel that is necessary, for us to continue embracing the regional cooperation, then we need to begin having the budget to support these activities. Because organizing this kind of meeting without any budget allocation is very challenging, and it's against that background. That is why our program started, because we were relying on the contribution and the support of the Central Organizing Committee for this value. But nonetheless, a wise person once said, better late than never. I want to salute you all and declare that our meeting that we are gathered here for is duly constituted, and you need to feel free and exercise your constitutional right. Thank you so much for the audience. Thank you. Clerk to Council, take us to the next item.
Next item on the order of business is motion to receive the body.
As we are aware of the procedures, I am going to invite one member of council, probably of the government, of Kole District local government, who are very well conversant with
once again, I'm Angor Moses Ngong. I represent people of Ayer sub-county in the District Council of Kole, and I double as the District Vice Chairman. As you heard earlier on, Chairman is in Okwero for another burial and is joining us in some few minutes to come. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am happy here to move a motion to receive and eulogize our gallant son, Ogwang Robert Charles, who was not even a soldier, but he was murdered by goons. He was not even arrogant, but he was murdered by the arrogant assassins. And I am happy here, Mr. Speaker, sir, to move a motion that may his body be received for eulogy. I'd like to move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you so much, the Vice Chairperson of Kole District Local Government, the leader of government business, for performing that mandatory responsibility of moving the motion for the receipt of the body of our fallen gallant son, Mr. Ogwang Robert Charles. I request for the secondment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, once again for giving me this opportunity. My name is Sarah Awor, Female Workers Representative. I'm up here to second that we receive the body of our fallen son for eulogies. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sarah Awor, for seconding the motion.
Family representative. The family representative will give us the life history of the deceased, the medical report, and introduce the close family members.
Thank you so much. Before the head of the family does so, it's important that I acknowledge the presence of my co-speakers. I am the presiding speaker, and I am being assisted by the following speakers. One, I have the speaker who took a district council. Honorable, with my precedence, I request you to rise up. You can rise up, it's fine. The speaker is giving you that opportunity. Just rise up and wave, so that they are able to see. Just lower it and you wave, because the members would want to see who is the speaker of Otuke. As the head of the family prepares, there standing is Right Honorable Waige Lamet, the Speaker of Otuke, the district. He's also our Secretary for Legal Affairs. At an appropriate time, he will be given an opportunity to make remarks on behalf of UD COSA, the District Council Speakers Association. I am also being assisted by Right Honorable the Deputy Speaker of Otuke, Right Honorable Achiu Kole. Right Honorable, rise up for recognition. The Honorable standing is the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Otuke and the General Secretary of Lango District Council Speakers Association. I am also being supported by the District Council Speaker of Yumbe, Right Honorable Asiko Kasim. He came all the way from West Nile. Honorable members of council, please join me in applauding the Speaker of Yumbe. He has the spirit of patriotism and nationalism because it takes a lot of sacrifice, as I was saying. On behalf of the council, Right Honorable Speaker of Yumbe, I am glad to receive you. I'm also being assisted by the Right Honorable Speaker of Apache District Council, that is Right Honorable Peter Ogongachuda. The gentleman, the tallest gentleman standing is the Right Honorable Speaker of Apache, and he's also the Vice Chairperson of Lango District Council Speakers Association. I am also honored to announce the presence and the support being rendered by the Right Honorable Speaker of Oyam District Council. The fattest gentleman is the Right Honorable Speaker of Oyam District Council, Right Honorable Otieno Nomi, and is our pastor. He's also the Deputy General Secretary of the association. I think it's also important that I acknowledge the presence of the clerks to councils. First and foremost, I have the honor to recognize the presence and the contribution of the clerk to council of our Lepton District local government. That is Ms. Joy Christine Auma. She's our Principal Assistant Secretary. Thank you. I have also the honor to acknowledge the support of the clerk to council of Kole District Council. You may forgive me, I've forgotten your name. Musa. Mr. Musa, thank you so much. He has been laboring with us right away from originating the order paper, the invitation letters, up to this momentous epoch. Mr. Clerk to Council, I'm humbled and privileged to really acknowledge and appreciate your utmost contribution. I'm also honored, also profoundly, to acknowledge the presence and the contribution of the clerk. I have been informed that the team from Bukwo District, they are coming soon. We shall wait. That is what the notice tells me. They have arrived. So I know my team is welcoming them and will make them to get seated. The team from Bukwo, the chairperson of Kwanya District Local Government, also entering, and other district chairpersons, and mayor, the city mayor, they are already in attendance. Thank you so much. May I invite the head of the family? It was announced by the clerk to council. I think within 5 minutes, we will be able to get done. Thank you.
Wrong speaker, forward, when you watch out, my name is Bukwo Milton. I'm standing on behalf of the family, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all in this occasion. I don't have much to say, but I just would like to send a vote of thanks to all of you, the church leaders, organizing committee that has made us to sit here, families, friends, and everyone who supported us, and they are still continuing to give us the support until we bury our brother. And thereafter, I would still beg you continue to support the family. The late Robert Charles, that is lying before here, died a sudden death, a very painful one, last Friday. And as a family, we know life is controlled by God. We have nothing to do. We only pray that God comfort us during this difficult moment. And I also want to request our family members. It's a painful death. Yesterday we said so, but let's take heart and bear, because there is nothing we can do. Lao Kole Kanyoha, Chip Penire. I think you are down when they translate such Koriloko, meaning Moriki. One better teach, Michelle, actually that very Friday night. You are followed them to the men and in the Konya Konotano Bukwo into the Bate Quantum. Thereafter, the committees are called your Konya Papat. Amero Iye I recognize the chairperson Central Committee. I want to get a tech, carry that put them at the teach. Would be more Ruka Morate Kopo, Corporate Tidibor, account the tech, then finance program.
Anyway, you have already invited. I'm giving the chairperson organizing committee 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The presiding speaker, the honorable chairpersons of district local governments around, the city mayor, all the monarchs here present, I observe all the protocol. I am Dennis Kisa. I have been the chairperson of the Central Organizing Committee. We had 3 meetings. Another meeting was here at home, and another meeting was in Kampala. We got a lot of support from Kampala, from the home people, and from Lera, and other local governments and Ministry of Local Government. I cannot outline all of them in the interest of time. There is one key thing which I want to put across the presiding speaker and the chairperson, city mayor. We have requested the PS Ministry of Local Government, much as our son has died a tragic death, that he be granted a posthumous promotion. The posthumous promotion is granted to a hard-working, outstanding performing officer, even if he is not there, to improve on the salary and to improve on the gratuity and the pension, since he has left behind very young children. We have also requested, we have been working hand in hand with the clan leaders, and the clan leader has put it in writing that the wife, Ms. Apio Evelyn Ogwang, is an employee of Young District Local Government in the acting capacity as Principal Human Resource Officer, but a substantive Senior Human Resource Officer, either be promoted by Young District Local Government through accelerated promotion to Principal, or Ministry of Local Government takes it up and gives her a higher position at the center. This will enable the young widow to take care of the young children. We have also agreed that with the support, the various support that we have had, the family opens Education Trust Fund. All the monies, all the assistance that we have received, we have not spent as the organizing committee together with the clan members. Some monies will be used
to support the education of the children for some time while the widow gets settled. I would like to stop here for now to give you more time to handle business before you. I thank all the monarchs here present. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much. The head of the family, you can proceed. The next 2 minutes.
Point to another speaker. Yeah, Uno. I jollo kuma David. Like big one life is here though. It is good to work more chew. For your attack, I tell a man wrong. More of a question.
Apoya.
All protocol observed. My name is David Okuma. I'm just here to give you a brief biography of great Robert Charles. Robert Charles was born on 28 January 1962 in a village called Leye in Telela Parish, Ayer Sub-County. Then it was Kole County, and the present district is Kole. His education, 1977 to 1983, he attended primary school in Baramidia. From then, he went to Komboni College for his secondary education from senior 1 to senior 6, and that was from 1984 to 1989. He was admitted in Makerere University in 1991 and completed it in 1993. He did Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences. In 1994 to 1995, he did not get employment immediately, so he registered for a diploma in education, and he did business education in Chamberlain University. In 2003, he did a certificate in administrative law in Law Development Center, Kampala. In 2004-2005, he did a postgraduate diploma in public administration in Uganda Management Institute. From 2011 to 2012, he did his master's in business administration and management in Kampala International University. These are the children this information is about his employment. In 1994 to 1998, he was a lecturer in NT Signature. In 1998 to 2000, he taught in Aduku Secondary School. In 2000, he became a senior assistant secretary with Apache District Local Government. From 2001 to 2006, he was assistant CAO Apache. From 2006 to 2018, he opened a new district, then called Oyam, and he was the acting CAO. In Oyam, he held several positions. After that, he became a CAO. After that, he was a PAS. After that, he was made town clerk. From 2018 to 2019, he was deputy CAO Yumbe. In 2019, he was deputy CAO Arua. 2020-2021, he was deputy CAO Kitmu. In 2021-2022, July, he was acting CAO Bukwo. These are some of the responsibilities, some few, that he held. From 2007 to the date of his death, he was chairperson governing board of Red Cross Society, Oyam. He was, for a long time, Minister of Development in the Lira clan family. He was married to Evelyn Ogwang, and they have 7 children and so many dependents, over 20. He was shot at Matuga on 8th July 2022, and he died on 9th July 2022 at around 4 a.m. in the morning in Bombo Military Hospital. Monas, you have to know he left children, and I want to call each of these children by name. As I call your name, you stand up. We may not have enough time for them to speak, but I want to invite the mother of these children to greet the Monas. Children, please, when I call your name, stand up for recognition. Mercy. Come forward. Ogwang Sam. To be Amia Angela. Come forward. Kate Kezia Penina. Stand in that order. Stand in that order. Kate Kezia Penina. Odomo Emmanuel Gabriel. Ogwang Aldrin, it's a small boy. Chola Agatha Ogwang, born a month ago. William Wilberforce Omara Odwa. These are the children of the late. As you can see, their ages, they are young, most of them. That is mother Omega to do you bichungu kerwa Omega to do you bindai shungu. The time is so little we cannot introduce all of them by name.
Exactly.
And now hereafter, may I invite the mother of these children to come and greet the mourners.
Marumi dake achel, emo tukumu.
The widow. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank God who has brought us together on this day in memory of my late husband. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Allow me to thank all of you who have sacrificed to come and mourn with us. Allow me to thank all of you who has been supporting us from the day this incident happened to date. And I humbly request that we join hands together until tomorrow when we bid him a farewell. On the 3rd, through my clan leader and the members, on the 3rd, that was a Sunday. Normally when he's leaving home, he tells me, my wife, let's pray. and we have always prayed together. Because right from the onset, when he was transferred to Bukwo District Local Government, he has been telling me, I have challenges at my workplace. Pray for me, pray for me. And we have been praying together. So 2 months ago, before he died, he told me, my wife, I've requested for transfer. It has not materialized. Then that Sunday, I told him, my husband, suppose you leave this job, I would like you to get it clearly from me. Suppose you leave this job and you come and stay home. Do you think we are going to die? That was my statement before the living God, because I am a Christian. Then his response was, my dear wife, let me go, but keep praying for me. Then that Sunday evening we prayed. Monday he left. So while at his workplace, as we are before council, when you, unfortunate that his phone is not, he has not been recovered, because they had a recording of the council proceeding the previous month before he died. It was terrible. My husband, for the years we have lived, I know him as a God-fearing person, very transparent, somebody who is not corrupt. He has worked in all these districts of Apache, Oyam, Yumbe, Pitgum, Arua, with very clear records. So is it true that it's only Bukwo where you fail to manage? You and me should really ask ourselves. But I know with God everything is possible. On Friday, my husband gave me his programs. At 10 a.m., he called me, my wife, I'm traveling to Kampala, to the ministry, to handle the issue of the budget. Then we prayed together. And my question was, are you alone in the vehicle? Then he was like, no, I'm being driven by my driver. Then we prayed together and wished them safe journey. He went. At 8 p.m., he called me, my wife. I'm leaving Kampala, traveling back home. I asked him whether he was coming with the driver or driving himself. He told me, I am driving myself. The driver has already left, going back to Bukwo. I wished him safe journey. By 11 p.m., I received a call from a good Samaritan. Because when I tried to inquire, who are you? The person told me, I am a good Samaritan. Then our question was, are you a wife to Ogwang Robert Charles? I said yes. That your husband has been shot at Matuga. So, as good Samaritans, there were two, a lady and a gentleman, but they didn't mention their details. So they picked him and rushed him to Bombo Hospital. From there, dear mourners, God had really planned. Because we tried to save his life, but I think it was really too late. We coordinated with a friend who was far away in Mugende, who called the friend at Bombo Barracks to talk to the doctors to rescue him. The friend even rushed, went and talked to the doctors. They tried. I think it was really late, because even the doctor himself called me and told me the major challenge was overbleeding, and at that time they didn't have blood. They tried to manage, but they failed. Then at 4 a.m. I was called only to receive the bad news that your husband passed on. Rest in eternal peace.
Please, you comfort the widow, and I'm requesting that you take her back to her seat. Please, some support. Thank you, Afande RDC and your team. I'm requesting that you take her back to the seat. Oh, just something to say. Okay, please proceed. Take heart, madam.
Our dear mourners, as I've told you, that my husband was a God-fearing person. He was somebody who didn't he was a person who could do things transparently. And on that note, allow me to invite our clan, the father-in-law, Ajin Musa, to say a word. Thank you.
Yeah, it's important, but I'm saying time is not our friend. Mzee, nota mugane dake ajel pichawa. Tedunga logdo to lokudihi koyam.
Ya wa akwa ni manu. Anabet mzee haji muso dongayo. Wang Robert no ni wada. Kiko pa no koba. But I will talk of it tomorrow. Ginaen dakumer kobani. Polero ben ginaen koba. We tonga kobani mira me luange. Tamu kita council tieni mira me winge. Ya da
okay, dake chala pap.
Mia kobi komada de li dogada pek. Ana kobani amano gwang tunu barni luade. Medwe ma biyo. No chegeti da au no don chego yang ko keda dino. E ko bani apap leka. Kabir du chabir tishiye the worst district ko Bukwo. Ye jaguna mentioning ninjo eno koba. It's not my word, it's from his mouth. Wang te ko bani chairman na bir rebel yailu. Tam tamani oda mer miroti abong chika gamente. Tia forcing on ni chen na ma dong amir do treasury ana kwanya kwa signing me opo ame an ka poko ana ya wori good ana kwera ko mi utia daga da chikato akwa ni gintia kuberi ke de RDC na ante ko ni ogwa dina mir tim wori me romi chani yeno diga rome duye moro
akwa yemate kapa
very painful ana ko ni jo ame ya Bukwo. Those who have come here, they are best friends. And Ogwang told me that most of the people from Bukwo love him, apart from the RDC and the chairman. And why he left the driver? Because driver was collaborating with his enemy. I stopped by that.
Thank you, Apap.
You have to be informed. Yeah, if you are not a friend from Bende. We try to support him, but in vain. Just say what.
Now what I will do, just in less than 1 minute, because I had gazetted 5 minutes for this activity, but it has gone beyond. We still have a number of activities to do, but however, we appreciate your coming and the support. Thank you. Mark microphone apa?
About the investigation. Oh, I'm in a poor to the Mobinuka at the point and Jome Bukwo. I don't know, I tell them a child to meet sin. And don't. Unukuliamu can tell what I mean. And Madame Rowe, Kim Chabi, Martino Bend. Cool, and I couldn't tell bit. Tu Kampala, era tu ensina, tu já para eu. Então, o motivo era, yes, it was planned. Kita dang social media dia kompukere. Endo kami tu akok ningat wana ya. Oh, jangan tu jadi. Pian jangan orang tu tuan dia pun. And now I tell about that local party, and was handing over him to the main group. And Otahamera Meono Tikusha. I'm requesting him, Bosnia, Cheshire partner.
Our media representative, please, as he has requested, don't cover him.
It may be a different thing. Yes. I'm like talking on behalf of the media, then it will be a different thing. So I request them mind that gap you believe. So, what the team are? Let's tell the main body. Overwhelming and all. Don't talk, kita mau beli wow. Obela met down work that party. Head out parking a little for parking, you don't know what parking.
and no picker only to pick and those two we arrested them. All the process, I could have told Coliel Nahamulago, Kwani Bombo, Nahamulago, I don't go. You have to mark your statement, Nahana Trevor, I can't put for dog. So, the Carnetial no parking, and you are no Jamaica. And to make children, and to kill inside the code dress, and then pay to pay. What I kill can and for kill ye cannot kill just and I believe maybe Dr. Neil will more innovation of what economy. Yes. So I tell that money to pay una bear. Let the investigation take its course. We don't need to jeopardize planning because yes, there was a rumor you can get that and okay, one room where to go. Then I need joke and Japan. And everything will fail. Then we shall blame the investigation. Well, Chani, you are Pola, take all of the Pola Metia handling. Young Pola Metia. Can look at the Petia pronouncing can, but it's going to. Because I'm an Aragon and don't know what they can do. Better be a dog now.
For your Mate, the head of the family, I think you are done.
We have not read it.
Thank you very much. My name is John Bosco Reich. I'm the brother of the deceased. I'm going to now just read what caused the death, but not who. With us, we always cover what, but not the who part of it. Now, Ogwang Robert Charles, I was admitted to military hospital on the 18th of July 2022 with a gunshot wound. No, on 8th July. On 8th July,
yes,
2022.
Proceed.
That was Friday, around 11:30 p.m. With gunshot wound, which were on the anteroposterior aspect of the upper thigh, that is the behind, and then in front there were wounds there, gunshot wound, and also on the buttocks, and because of that, some of the bullet had gone and destroyed the internal pelvic organ, like the bladder was destroyed, and because of that large gunshot wound, the big artery that carries blood to the upper thigh was damaged, and there was a lot of bleeding. And this bleeding caused a lot of loss of blood, and he became anemic. He started lacking blood. In an attempt to now get the blood to transfuse him, it was not now possible with other medical interventions. And at 4 a.m., he passed on. I think that is what caused the death. Is excessive bleeding due to gunshot wound and caused anemia. That is lack of blood. And we cannot stay without the blood. The heart cannot stay without the blood. The brain cannot stay without blood. And because of that, he passed on at 4 a.m. That's the cause of death. Others have been mentioned already.
Thank you so much. Very necessary. That was really necessary to guide us on the eulogy that we would be paying to our fallen son or brother, Mr. Ogwang Charles. But at least we're done with that item. Clerk to Council, take us to the next item.
Next item on the order paper is motion to eulogize the gallant son.
Thank you so much. May I therefore take this material time to invite a member of council. Yes, Honorable, you have caught my eye. You can step forward.
The Right Honorable Speaker, I am Honorable Isaac Aliena, a male councillor representing workers, Kole District Council. I am here to move a motion to eulogize the fallen gallant son of the soil, since he has been a very tremendous and hard-working personnel.
Secondment.
Right Honorable Speaker, all protocol observed. My name is Kole District. I am a councillor from Elector. I'm the chairperson of Finance and Administration. Mr. Speaker, before I second the motion, I want to put this one very clearly, that Mr. Ogwang, who is lying before us here, I knew him when I had passed on. My brother, Charles Ogwang, passed on. I knew him together with his wife, and I must confess that that was a true friend. Zadok fought with his colleague in a Bukwo SS, and he was the chairman organizing committee for the burial. Mr. Speaker, I want to condemn the action taken, and I want to inform my friend from the workers from Bukwo that the Laos sub-region has never experienced such a brutal act, and ask local government from Laos sub-region whether we have disagreement in whatever way, we have not moved to church action. Mr. Speaker, I'm now up to second the motion moved by Honorable Councillor from Kole District Local Government. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ben Achen, the Councillor representing above subcounty. Robert Charles Ogwang. Honorable members of Council, as a presiding speaker, I am declaring that the motion has been moved and successfully seconded. So therefore, the Council is ready to receive the eulogies. And I would want to guide in this way, in the interest of time. I'm aware we are convened here for the Regional Council meeting. That is for Northern Region, which has 3 sub-regions. First and foremost, we have the Laos sub-region. Secondly, we have a Chole sub-region. Then thirdly, we have West Nile sub-region. I'm also aware we have a team from Bukwo district. As time moves on, I'll see how I can slot in them to pay their tribute. So we want to begin by inviting the eulogies from Laos sub-region, and I'm going to call district by district. I'm beginning with the Apache District Local Government. Do we have any representation from Apache? If it's not there, then we shall move to Kwania District Local Government. Each of you, I'll give you 2 minutes. I know our honorable members are honorable enough, even when it comes to time management.
And gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Geoffrey Alex Ogwang, a district chairperson for Kwania District Local Government. It's unfortunate that I'm stepping here for the first time to see my brother in the coffin, but that is God's making. I come in contact with the late, we refer to him as Get Going, when he was a teacher in Bukwo Secondary School. From Bukwo Secondary School, because of his hard working, he got an employment and a promotion to work with the Apache District Local Government. While he was in Apache District Local Government, he was assigned the responsibility to oversee the county of Kwania. And by then he was sleeping in a place called Wipolo. Wipolo is our district headquarters currently. While he was teaching, I'm a teacher by profession. I have interacted with him several times. Get Going is a person I know, I think part of his behavior contributed to his death. Because he's a person who does not tolerate nonsense. He's a man who does not tolerate corruption. He's a man who will always tell you the truth. He's an extrovert, and partly must have caused him the death, as people are saying.
Madam Chairman, you are left with 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I kindly request to challenge government. I want to quote the President Museveni when he came to power. He said, I quote, that I cannot officiate over a country where people are killed and the killers are not identified. But Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge government in the following ways. We have series of deaths, which is similar to this one of the late Get Going. In 2018, police officer Mohammed Kirumira was killed in an uncertain event. Mr. Speaker, on the 31st of March 2015, Prosecutor Johnan Tv was killed. Mr. Speaker, senior police officer Andrew Kawesi was killed in 2017. And today, our brother Get Going. God is dead in a similar way. I want to try, because now police are saying they are doing investigations.
Mr. Chairman, summarize.
Mr. Speaker, kindly give me 1 more minute. I want to challenge government to ensure that when they talk about investigation, let them get the killers. For how long can we wait for investigation? Because out of this and a few others that have been killed, the country have never received the report. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to leaders, right from political wing, district leaders, technical people. God has given us those respective officers to serve the people. Those officers are not meant to do all those wrong things. I want to appeal to my brothers, especially Chairperson. We handle a very complicated issues. We should avoid this thing that will always bring us suspicion when death occurred. I was not comfortable with the letter, if it is true, written by my colleague from Bukwo, the Chairperson, about the late.
Chairman, summarize. You have 3 minutes.
I am not comfortable. Those officers, we are supposed to be solving problems. We are supposed to be helping our brothers, who are technical people and politicians. We are supposed to serve the people of God, not to behave like you are a messenger every time writing to the ministry. Who told you that ministry does not have problems? They have problems. So I want to appeal to my brothers, those who are holding offices, irrespective of the title, kindly, God is always praying for us, church people are always praying for us. We are always supposed to serve the people of God. I'd like to say,
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much.
Chairman. I'm handling the greater patch. Can I invite the Yam District Local Government? Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, sir, all protocols observed. I am Johnan Tv Ogwang, the district vice chairperson. My district chair is not him, he's in Kampala, and hopefully he may join tomorrow's program. Mr. Speaker, I knew the late in the year 2001 when I voluntarily retired from civil service to join politics. I knew him when we were still in a patch and he was serving as a CAO.
I don't want actually to repeat, but as my recurrent speakers have mentioned, Mr. Get Going actually was a man of all seasons. Once I was in Arua, he welcomed the team from Kole. I was the speaker Kole by then. He received us with a lot of joy and with a lot of respect. And even me, I inquired from the team from West Nile whether he was just pretending. In fact, my colleagues from West Nile said, you people from Lango, you have a great man, and he's here lying before us. I am still actually echoing this to our brothers and sisters who are working outside. Let us emulate the work and we forgive others who has wronged us. You know, it's
Chairman, you are left with 1 minute. Proceed.
Thank you. It is God who gives and it is God who takes. I pray that may God receive him
and rest his soul in the eternal peace. Amen.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vice Chairperson for Kole District Local Government.
Mr. Speaker, since members of the Greater Lira, most of them are absent, you will allow me to add 1 more minute.
I'll give you 3 minutes.
Thank you very
I would
much.
have doubled you with the Lira district.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and members of the family of the late Robert Charles Ogwang, allow me to start by bringing our condolence message from the people of Lira City, the city that hosts all the districts of Lango, one way or the other. Accept our sincere condolence on this occasion. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to speak about Robert Charles Ogwang that I got to know way back in 1995 when I joined NPC Ngeta. From that time, I got associated not only with Robert Charles, but also the rest of the other family members. Some of them spoke here. And from that time, we've been sharing a lot when it comes to how the journey of life can be. I would stand here and describe Robert Charles as a man who is persistent, a man who was focused, and if the word resilient can apply to human life, then Robert Charles would be one person I can say was resilient. Even his journey to local government, I remember sharing with him how he got to local government in Apache. It's not true that he started from the higher level. I remember very well. He was deployed way, way down in Akokoro. He entered as a junior officer. And that spoke a lot with the kind of life that some of us walked to where we are today. We are a testimony of people who were not able to see life straight as many are getting it today. And it's sad and tragic.
Your Worship, you are left with 1 minute.
That for,
2 minutes.
That for a man who strived a lot, his life, unfortunately, was brought to a tragic end. My message to the people of Lango and to the people of Uganda is that we should not lose hope. Persons like Ogwang should be emulated. Even when we are under a lot of stress, let us still do the right thing. Let us stand for the truth, and let us stand to serve the people of this country. I honor him on this day as one of the greatest men who has served this country in different levels. And for this reason, as Lira City Council, we will honor him by naming one of our roads in memory of the service he gave to this country. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, for the ideology and the commitment you have made. Kole District Local Government.
Julian Akolo is my name. I'm the RDC of Tuke. And you may excuse me. I'll leave the floor for my sister of Kole at an appropriate time to say something. This is my late uncle who is now lying here. I remember before his death, we shared with him when I met him also servicing his vehicle at gas petrol station. He was telling me how he was living in Bukwo, and if I can remember, my advice to him was like, talk to the PS, leave the place, those people will kill you. That was my message to him. It takes like some few weeks. I saw a message again, a copy of a letter written by the chairman of Bukwo in one of the platforms. I sacrificed again. I removed that letter from that WhatsApp group. I posted to him, I posted to the wife, and I told him, Have you seen that? Then the following morning he did not answer. Late I saw his missed call. I again called him. I repeated the same advice to him. He laughed and he told me, I will handle. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The resident district commissioner overtook a district local government for paying that tribute. Lepton district local government, I'm reserving the district chairman for Lepton. You'll have a remark to make. Governance, isn't it? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to appreciate and thank all the mourners in your respective capacities. I'm called Fellow Jamila Kasim. I represent Amogu Sub-County and Amogu Town Council to Lepton District. I am the Secretary Health and Education. On this day, as a mother, as a leader, it's very difficult to talk about because our hearts are bleeding. My heart is bleeding. I don't want to point fingers, but it's on record that even when one of our sons was working there, they followed him up to his home, and several bullets were fired. But God helped him, he was killed, and that was the late RDC Joe in that very region. And today, we are having our own, who was about to retire, who had worked tirelessly from his youthhood up to the age that he was a grandfather now. He has been murdered. He was murdered.
Honorable Secretary,
you
are left with 1 minute.
I want to appeal to the investigators that as a region, we have lost our sons. Actually, that job is very unfortunate for us. Several cows have been killed that comes from this region. Why? We appeal to the investigators, to the government, religious leaders, political leaders. Let us join our hands and before this matter to God, I beg to resume my seat.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Honorable members, I think I've competently Nile sub-region. West Nile sub-region. Mr. Speaker, sir, maybe with a due respect, I can request you to lower your cap because you travel from very far. The Speaker, Yumbe, and I will give you 2 minutes to pay your tribute. You lower it, then you step forward.
I want to take this time to join my brothers of Langu sub-region to have organized this special council session to mourn our brother, late Robert Charles Ogwang. I think as a region, the whole of northern Uganda has been darkened when we received this information that our brother was murdered in a very brutal way. When the information started circulating on social media, the whole of northern Uganda was not in combat zone. That's why, Right Honorable Speaker, as the Speaker of Yumbe, I have taken this initiative to attend this regional council session in person. Because late Robert joined us in 2018 when he was posted as the deputy CAO of Yumbe. And when that district had the district status from 2000, he was the first deputy CAO who was posted to Yumbe. And when he was there, I think we, the people of Yumbe, we really enjoyed his leadership. There's even a message here, Right Honorable Speaker, you will allow me to read. But I think on behalf of West Nile,
West Nile is not a very small district. It is a sub-region having more than 13 districts. But now the leadership of West Nile, I am quite convinced by tomorrow, some of the leaders will join you, will join part of this region to usher our brother to eternity. They will be able to join you. But on behalf of the people of Yumbe, I have a message here. Right Honorable Speaker, you will allow me to read.
Within 1 minute.
They bereave the family of late Charles Robert Ogwang, the acting Chief Administrative Officer, Bukwo District Local Government. Condolence message. It is with deep sorrow and shock to learn about the death of late Charles Robert Ogwang, the former Deputy CAO of Yumbe and acting CAO of Bukwo District Local Government, which occurred in the night of 9th July 2022 at the Bombo Military Hospital. We pray to God to give us the strength to bear with this irreversible demise, and may peace and comfort cover us all during this difficult moment. For one can prepare you for a loss like this. One, it comes like a swift wind, but takes comfort in knowing that he is now resting in the arms of our Lord. Truly, he will be missed, but we will include him in our daily prayers. Late Ogwang was the first Deputy CAO of Yumbe District Local Government in 2018, and he was very instrumental in setting the institutional growth pace for the district. He played a tremendous role in transforming the district as well as achieving the development objectives of the district. In Yumbe, we know him as a good time manager, and he loved his work. By the time of his transfer, the duty attendance among the staff had improved up to 98%. His innovations and technical contributions to the district will be recognized forever as long as the district exists. We extend our deepest condolences and sympathies to the family members. May God give you the comfort and peace that you seek, and may the soul of our loved one rest him in peace. So this is the condolence message from the leadership of Yumbe. As I am presenting this, Right Honorable Speaker, I am happy that when the family members were making some statements here, they said that there will be an education trust fund which will be launched. But the purpose of putting that one in place is to support the children. I am happy that I have seen the children myself, and I am also here as a district. We are making humble contribution of 1 million to support the education trust fund. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker of Yumbe District Council, for representing Yumbe District Local Government. We pray that God blesses you. Thank you. At an appropriate time, I will invite probably the widow.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I honor all the protocols. I am Bukwo Patrick, the Secretary for Works and Technical Services for the district. I am here representing my chairperson, retired Colonel Fearless Oyat, who was not able to join us at this time, but he has asked me to come and represent him with the 2 more other district councillors. I request you rise up for recognition.
You can introduce them.
With me, I have Honorable Kwamakaito Batubina, who is the district councillor of Pader and the chair. It was not easy, but you stood with us. Today we are here. It's yet another painful moment that we need to stand together. The people of Kole, this is not your son, it's ours. He's serving our country but he has left us. Some months, not very far, we were in Umoro. Again, another very painful moment. The people of the north, these were some of the people who were supposed to help us out. We have been in war for so long, but again we are having more war. A very tactical war. And this war needs knowledge.
Honorable Secretary, I have had for you 1 minute.
Thank you, thank
Proceed.
you. I request, if we are going to have this war under, let's have knowledge. It's not about our strength. It's not about our, our physical appearance. But we need to go back and pray to God so that God could give us wisdom and handle our situation well. I would pray to the family members. Alone we cannot, but together this thing can still be handled. We should have more meetings and concentration, but a positive one. The one that can help us to understand whether we have our personal problems, people of the north, or there are people who have problems with us. We don't need to bring politics in. We don't need to divide people. But let's work towards getting the right answer towards our problem. Today we are here. I am not surprised. Not taking might be long. We may still sit in another place. Why us all the time? I am asking this question and the answer is not coming. Why? Why are they picking the cream of the north? The people are supposed to advise. Other people's children are retiring from work and are going home with the packages, but for us, we come back with coffin. That's wrong. My dear leaders, let's not pay anything ordinarily. It is only God who is supposed to prevent if at all there is something wrong. Your chairman here worked with us in Padre, and we came specifically to stand with him. He was one of the persons working with us. We had a very good relationship and we still have it. When I was down here, he told me he has already prepared a room for me. I will not be going back. And we are yet to discuss about that. This link should be maintained. If there could be any other gaps that's coming around, let's try to bridge. We speak the same language. We are all the north, whether from Kejong to West Nile. We are the same team. Let this boundary not bring to us any gaps. The family members finally. We are here to stand with you much, but our presence is like we are coming to help you carry the burden. Please, take heart. Look at the children. There are more cows in this family. We need to develop them. I request the local government where the widow is working. It's not in any law for us to force you, but go back and see what you can do for the family. This is my just humble request. Mr. Speaker, I beg, it's not lawful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I request that God to reward this family, to give them strength, and to support every hand that is deciding to help the family to stand. I say all this for God and my country. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much, Honorable Secretary for Works and Technical Services. Okay, have been requested by the Regional Vice President of Olga that I should give them 5 minutes. Your Excellency.
Honorable Speaker, sir.
Your request is honored. Yes, I'm giving you 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Honorable Speaker, sir, my fellow monarchs, My name is Fred Musoke, the District Internal Security Officer. I came here with my colleagues, the District Health Officer, and my deputy. We were supposed to come with the DPC, but there are some investigations which are taking place in the Bukwo, and could not leave the team which is carrying out the investigation. We are representing people who are also sympathizing with the family for the loss of our dear friend, Mr. Charles Ogwang. All of us here, we are also sent to Bukwo to work there, as Charles Ogwang was also sent there. And we were friends. We were consulting each other. Even on Friday, the day he died, that day we were communicating with him. He could not do anything without informing us. It is true that there are some conflicts somewhere, as the organization did. But not all people in Bukwo hated Ogwang. And tomorrow you will see another team coming, because for us we left yesterday, but others are on the way coming. I remember one thing which he told me before. When I told him that I'm going to leave Bukwo, he said, Fred, don't leave me in Bukwo. That if it is possible, I'm going to talk to your boss and make sure that you should not leave, so that we can remain together. We are missing him as friends. The family is missing him. The country is missing him. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I don't want to say much. My name is Dr.
Yeah, he's still within the 5 minutes.
I'm called Dr. Sabi Edward. I hail from right here in Hoima. I've been in Bukwo for 1 year, but I want to tell you it's not an easy journey. As you can see, almost the same age with the late, and somehow we got linked together like the bishop said. But he used to say a lot of words of wisdom. Let us stick together. Let us do the right thing. Let us be professional in all we do and be honest. Even those letters that circulated and what, it's actually the opposite of what our brother was. It is completely the opposite. I've worked in more than 10 districts in this country, almost in all regions. But I've never seen a cow, not in my lifetime, that is as professional, as supportive, as strong as Late Ogwang. And it has never been actually in my lifetime. So when I came, he came when I was also leaving the district. He sat me down and said, you have to be here. Let's put this district forward together. And then he started right away putting teams together. He's a good talent manager. He could see through his teams and say, this one can do for me, this one can do. And he places us in the right places. And I want to tell you, if we had this brother of ours, who is now late, for the next 1 year, trust me, Bukwo would be a model district. In a short time, 6 months, a lot of things have changed, including mindset. It is just a few things that came, but it's really very challenging, that changed, turned everything together. We are with the family. We are all actually devastated. Actually, we couldn't believe when the news came. He said one thing when we were having, I think we were with Diso here in Mbale, and he was like, but I even don't understand. Is the God really seeing us? What have we done? Because the ping-pong fights have been there, not only involving him, but all of us. But because for him, he handles, issues of finances and what, so he became now possibly the first target. And he mentioned that, Edward, you are saying that maybe we are wrong. What did Jesus do? What did Jesus do to go through what he went through? What did he do? For people to vote Lazarus, Barabbas, not Jesus. So it's possibly a big loss. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. The protocol observed. Mourners, Balang Emmanuel, Deputy Diso of Bukwo, is my boss, and he has said it all. The late was really a friend, a brother. He respected us so much, we respected him. In fact, I do understand some of the language that he speaks. I would always have a chat with him. He was very humble to us and was approachable. We really, really appreciated it. We worked together, he tasked us. You know, it is very unfortunate that we have lost him in this short time that he was there in Bukwo. We are so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, was also presented as a presiding speaker. Anyway, thank you so much. I was just joking. Thank you. Thank you so much, the team from Bukwo District Local Government, for the solidarity that you have shown to the people of Northern Uganda. It's unfortunate that for us, the believers and the Christians, when you go to the church, you find the catechists, the reverends preaching to those who are converted. That for you people, you don't always pray, you are pagans, and yet the pagans are lying and enjoying their entitlements and the benefits at their respective homes. That is usually just said to make sure that the message reaches those pagans remaining at home. But I want to appreciate you so much as Northern Uganda. We are very appreciative, and I want to say, Alota continua. Honorable members of council, having received that, I've received a number of requests here that will be done within 5 minutes, then we go to the next item. One, the Right Honorable Speaker of Yumbe District Council, he forgot to introduce the members with whom he came. He came along with the Assistant Chief Administrative Officer of Yumbe. The CAO of Yumbe, please stand up for recognition. Thank you for coming.
Red Cross land in Uyam, and he also wrote a proposal to German Red Cross to build that office, the office that we have in Uyam, the Red Cross office. Get Going was also a central governing body member of Red Cross in Kampala. He also knew, most people are talking about the attributes that he had, but I believe that all the things he got from Red Cross, because he lived by the 7 fundamental principle of Uganda of Red Cross, that is humanity, independence, neutrality, impartiality, voluntary, unity, and universality. Every time that he was talking to a fellow Red Crosser, he would start with Enivo. Enivo is a greetings for all the Red Cross members. And when he died, he was still a member of Red Cross that he had already subscribed. He would pay his membership every year. Red Cross family is really going to miss Get Going. He was my boss. When I went through the interview in Kampala, I worked with him in Apache and Oyam until he left. That was in 2018 when he went to Yumbe. It was now too much for him to be operating in Yumbe and Apache. So he left, but then he was the chairperson, branch governing board for 8 years in Apache and 12 years as chairperson, sub-branch, Oyam. Get Going was also a first aid instructor. To become a first aid instructor in Red Cross, you have to go through, it is not just a training that you get at once, but he started this training way back in 1997 when he joined Red Cross. And I also want to thank the chairperson of the organizing committee for this program for at least selecting this picture where he was wearing a Red Cross reflector jacket.
Concluding within 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. You know, wearing a reflector jacket of Red Cross is not just, you don't wear it anyhow. But he loved Red Cross so much. Every time that any activity which is happening in Red Cross and he happens to be there, he's always there volunteering as a Red Cross member. This Red Cross jacket is only worn by Red Cross members and staff and volunteers, only when carrying any activity. As you can also see, we are seeing some Red Cross members around wearing the same jacket. They are giving their last respect to our chairman. Me, I knew him as a chairman because he was my chairman and I will report to him. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. The host President District Commissioner, as it was requested for by the RDC of Otuke. Please, I request you to step forward and pay your tribute.
Thank you. Fellow mourners, I greet you all in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. My name is Caroline Awolire. I'm the RDC Kole. I am also a wife of Lango. And so today, I mourn with the people of Lango, who are my people. I want to tell you that I am in deep pain as I stand here before you, because I have failed to comprehend why a fellow human being would want to kill another. And yet God has prepared time for all of us to go. Why don't we leave it to God to take us at the right time when He has planned it? It is very sad and very painful. We have lost a servant of the people of Uganda. Ugandans have lost. The people of Lango have lost. The people of Kole have lost their son. And the family of the late have lost an investment that they invested over time. It is really very sad that we Ugandans no longer have love for one another. I want to tell you, we are all sent to different districts of this country. And when we are sent there, we are sent there as Ugandans. We are not sent there as Karamojong, as Lango, as Acholi. We must love our country. If we love our country, we love the people in that country. The current government is preaching about patriotism. But it looks like Ugandans in service are only reading about it, are not practicing it. Where do we grow up from? Who nurtured us with such kind of bitterness in our hearts? I am really, really in pain. This is not me. I always speak with a lot of vigor. I speak with a lot of courage. My heart is broken. It is completely broken. I just don't know what to say. But because the time is limited, I'm sure tomorrow I'll have time to say something again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And may the soul of the deceased rest in eternal peace. God will also take charge at the right time. Just pray to God. I believe God will give us peace to manage. May the grace of the Lord be with us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Resident District Commissioner. Moving forward, Honorable Bass, being a workers' councillor's representative, or workers' representative to the council, I have received your request. Honorable Sarah Warangweri, I've also received your request to make some proposals. Each of you, I will give you 1 minute.
Thank you, the Right Honourable Speaker, the chairpersons of different districts present, the clergies, and all the mourners present here. I'm Honourable Isabas Macha, male workers representative to Yam District Local Government. I'm here to apologize. Our brother, our father, our friend. But the Right Honourable Speaker, a lot has already been said. I'm up here as a representative of the workers and of the district where our sister, the wife to the late Charles Ogwang, I'm up here to move a motion. I'm up here to move a motion that as the district of Oyam District Local Government, the wife of Robert Charles Ogwang, who works with us in the Department of Human Resource, be promoted and kept in Oyam so that this woman can be able to look after our family and the young kids that our friend, our father has left behind. The Right Honorable Speaker, since Oyam to me is the mother district where our brother opened, it would be very important for us to pay him with a good employment to the wife. I beg to move this motion so that it can be considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Male Councillor representing workers. It's quite tricky because there are very many factors that will revolve around the recruitment. And we do not want to use this regional symposium or the regional legislative assembly to begin superimposing on the district service commission of Oyam. But as a human being, I would only request that if she meets all the requirements, you go and see it as a leadership of Oyam District Local Government, and you see how the family can be rewarded. Thank you. I request that you go back. Thank you for your submission. That our brothers and sisters who are employed in different local governments are facing. I think it has some merit. Only that procedure, yes, procedure, yes.
I want to thank you for guiding this council. My procedure is that the issue involving the cultural leadership may not be within our powers, that we take decision to direct them. The point is already taken, and I believe the representatives who are here can now take it up and discuss in their meetings, and then appropriate action will be taken. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wise guidance, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable members of council, having received eulogies from different honorable members of council and different ex-official members of this council, I would want to say we are coming to the end of our eulogy, and as we are preparing to go to the next item, I've realized that there are some members of the council.
Waka, thank you so much. Behind I have Honorable Innocent Ogwang representing Nakuru. Thank you so much. Then I have my Secretary for Health, Education and Community Services. Thank you, that is Beatrice Okelo. And then I have the technical team. I have the A teacher, Kambini. Thank you so much for coming. And
Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
The inspector of schools, standing, that was my primary teacher.
Yes.
She taught me at Aloy High Primary School. And the English I'm speaking here, I directly got from her. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Congratulations upon your promotion.
That is our inspector of school. Then we have the teacher for Amoa. You are still there? A teacher. Thank you so much. And then, amen. Town clerk. So those are the team from Oyam.
She represents women from Bala Town Council. The other one, she's Honorable Job Patricia Owera. She represents female workers. The other one, on our extreme left, she's Honorable Esther. She represents people of Bukwo Sub-County and Bukwo Town Council. In front here is Honorable Ayena Isaac. He represents male workers. The next one is Honorable Yoboni. He represents male people of Yer Town Council. And the other one remaining is Honorable Akelo Betimande. He represents female people of Akalo Town Council and Akalo Sub-County. Me talking among all Moses Ongom, I represent people of Yer, and I double as this Vice Chairman. May I have technical team from Kole? I am beginning from here. The other one, she is Susan, Principal Assistant Secretary. The other one is Deputy CAO Eugene Olaro. And the one remaining is our CAO, is Arake Dalili. The other one, thank you. Clerk to Council, thank you, is Abdul Musa. Thank you.
Next item on the order paper is motion to view the body and laying of wreath.
No messages from distinguished personalities? I think so.
Sorry, we have remarks by distinguished personalities.
Thank you so much, Clerk to Council. Before I begin executing that, I have received a message from the Honorable Council representing workers of Lira City, who has started implementing the trust fund. She has sent to me here 50,000 shillings to support the trust fund. So I am forwarding it to Clerk to Council, and whereas the members, the different personages will be coming to make presentations, we really need to be thinking about the account for this money. As I know, this account will be okay. These are bureaucrats. They are very good time manager. They always lecture us to keep time. Thank you.
The Right Honourable Speaker and your colleagues from various districts, the members of Council, the Rimbi family, all of you monarchs in the various capacities, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for giving us opportunity as CAOs to make statements during this special council. I was already beginning to complain that this is a colleague, CAO, who's been honored.
You're a distinguished personality.
So why was CAO not appearing in the program? I was being complained, but I am glad we are distinguished people. I pay glory tribute to the family of the late on this great loss. As the CAOs, my colleagues will join here tomorrow in send-off of Comrade Charles Ogwang. But I want to thank the Regional Council for giving us opportunity to honor our colleague in a special way. This is a real opportunity, and I want to thank you very much for holding this chance. May God reward all of you abundantly for this kind gesture, and especially the initiator of this idea. I will share it with my colleagues, and will live to remember this. The late is a contemporary, a long-time friend to me. I went with him together at LGC, the 2003, 2004-05, we were together at UMY. And as the administrative officers in the region, because also I come from northern Uganda, my home district is the Yumbe. We shared a lot in the region as colleagues, so we grew together in the run. He stagnated, I was telling the family, because of different opportunities to grow. Otherwise, he had potential to grow and become a CAO earlier. He served in various ranks in the administrative hierarchy, as you heard, until he became a deputy CAO, and normal posting instructions took him across the country, including working in West Nile, Arua, Yumbe. In Yumbe, he worked in my home district. That time I was in Germany. I remember he called me and said, "Comrade, you are quiet. Why don't you show me the way?" I told him, as a professional, I'm not worried. I know you know how to put your feet. And I then quickly guided him and said, in the Yumbe, there are two walls. You walk in the middle.
Upon the RDC is completely out of order to begin playing with the leader of government business. I don't know what business you people are discussing there.
Mr. Speaker, I guided my colleague. I told him that we have got two blocks here. He walked in the middle. so that you serve the people neutrally. That was my guidance to you. And indeed, during my interactions with the team in Yumbe, they told me he served as a professional cadre, enforced discipline, and ensured that deadlines were met in terms of reporting and accountability. This was confirmed by the Speaker of Yumbe with the message for the people of Yumbe. Until his brutal assassination on the night of July 2022. We heard about the killing. We are very sad about it as cows. It has taken us by storm, and we are emotional about this. The other day I told the family, the cows fraternity is making contribution to strengthen the education trust fund. And I'm glad this is a talk in this council that everybody is talking about it. I have seen the children myself, they are young, they need support, so that they don't think about the late when we are buried him, so that they support him. So our contributions will be pronounced on this tomorrow by the chairperson of the House, Home Returns and Parliament. We take this attack on Comrade Ogwang as an attack to all the cows. And we will not be afraid to do our work. We remain more strengthened to serve this country diligently. So whoever thinks that he is going to use such brutal measures to threaten us, I want to put them on notice that we remain more strengthened to serve our country even more better than what they think. So such idiots who operate cowardly will simply make us more strengthened. We appeal to government to expeditiously investigate the cause of assassination of comrade. Of course, there are many facts on the surface. If this was another man, a traditional African person, you will just speak to the person and deal with it. But would allow the law to take its course. Let the law take its course. Those who are linked to the assassination, this speedily brought to book, and that serves a strong message to those who will do it. I want to appeal to the security committees of Uganda in the various districts to make arrangements to provide protection to cows, given the nature of what they do, so that they remain safe as they do their work. May the soul of God still come to rest in peace. Thank you. We are joined by the CAO and his deputy. They also got engaged in other things, but they were with us here. Many cows will join in the sale of tomorrow. Thank you very much.
CAO Navy and your deputy, please rise up for recognition. Okay, they've moved. Loud District, Stroke City, Local Government Chairpersons Association. Honorable Chairperson, you are welcome. Be preparing.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you. I take all the protocol serious in the interest of time. Right Honorable Speaker, before I begin my brief speech, allow me to thank all my colleagues, the district chairpersons across the region, for making it here. I know our colleagues who are not here will make it tomorrow again. And I want to take this honor and inform the public that as the leaders who are in district right now, we are not going to go back to those days where we look at each region maybe as an enemy. We are rebuilding this country and we must start it now. So as chairperson for Northern Region, the Greater North, we have made a commitment that we want to unite this country by working as brothers and sisters, and this one is highly demonstrated in this function here. And next time we are going to organize a meeting, not only for this kind of arrangement, but to see that the government is there in Northern Uganda. I want to make that statement. For those who don't know me, my name is Odomo Dike, the district chairperson Alepton, who is also the chairperson for all chairpersons in Lamu sub-region. Right Honorable Speaker, I have been given the honor of giving this special eulogy as a distinguished personality one amazing man, that is Mr. Ogwang Robert Charles. Right Honorable Speaker, I want first of all to extend my gratitude to all the relatives, friends and attendees who have come today to honor this great man, Mr. Ogwang Charles, a person who is difficult to replace. Right Honorable Speaker, the family members, friends and those who have come here, I feel this is the hardest moment for me to make an eulogy to a person who is loved and a person who has served this country. Unfortunately, he died in cold blood. Right Honorable Speaker, it is on this note that I posed a very simple question to the state. The question number one is, for how long shall we be presiding over governance where people are murdered in cold blood and nothing is done to the perpetrators? Our second question is, who is safe in this country? Another question, must we all be having escorts in order to be safe in this country? Right Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that we as the leaders of this sub-region, we are demanding the parliament of this country to have a special sitting to discuss the nitty-gritty of the security of this country. As it was listed by my chairperson, Kwania, we cannot afford to lose gallant sons and daughters of this country in the hands of murderers, and we sit comfortably within our jurisdiction and we take it lightly. I am saying this one because, Right Honorable Speaker, it is very sad for children dependents to wake up early morning to find that their dad is not there. This is an unfortunate situation. You can see these children, they are very young. Just because their father is not there, they can easily turn into destitute, needy, and the rest of it. And yet, the father has worked for this country. So the issue of security should not be taken lightly. And as leaders of this sub-region, we're saying Parliament must call an urgent meeting, and this is a matter of national interest, which is provided for in the procedures of Parliament and also within the Constitution of this country. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to use this opportunity as a leader of Lango to call upon religious leaders, cultural leaders in this country to seek for God's face and intervention in this unending tragedy. As believers, I strongly believe that the blood of these innocent Ugandans who have been killed, who have been murdered, they are crying before God. And therefore, we need to seek for God's intervention such that we stop this kind of situation and then we have a secured country for all. Right Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, to the bereaved family members, I know heaven will not disappoint kind-hearted person like Bukwo. He has done his part. I know God is going to take him to the right place. God confirms this one in Isaiah 43:2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through, while you go through rivers of difficulties, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up, the flame will not consume you. On this note, as much as the children are yet young, I know God's eyes are in this family here. He can still, within his power, elevate these children even to powerful position in this country. That is my prayer and our prayers as leaders from Lango sub-region. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to commend all the speakers and yourself for this special council meeting. And as the leader from Lango, I want to make a pronouncement that as leaders from Lango, we are in good working relationship with all the RDCs in our districts and all the chief administrative officers, and this one must be maintained. We can disagree, but our disagreement should not go beyond control. We appeal to district councillors as well, not to use blackmail and those further accusation against our technical officers. We have all the avenues of sorting our differences in our offices. These are our pillars, leaders, and we want to put a new direction in this country where we use officers, we use knowledge to sort out issues. We are really grieved by the loss of our colleague here. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I say all this for God and my family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman General, for Lamu Sub-Region, for the remarks that you have made. Before I invite the Olga President, allow me to invite the Chairperson, Lady Kosa, the Vice Chairperson, Lamu District Council Speakers Association, Mr. Chairman General, you will forgive me today, Olga President. Mr. Chairman, sir, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, the presiding speaker, the district chairpersons, colleagues, speakers, and honorable members. My name is Peter Obong Achuda, the district council speaker of Apache District Local Council, the vice chairperson, Lango District Council Speakers Association. I am up here just to say farewell to our fallen brother. On behalf of the entire speakers fraternity of Lango Sub-Region, we are deeply touched. But I want to say God has his plan. He has done it, and it will be him to reward him again. But I still believe that as we move in this world, the blood of our brother shall be paid. Members, I have risen up not to say much, just to encourage the children and the widow. The children, I have a message for you, that the God that took your father will never leave you. Respect him. Be close to your parents, the mother that have remained. Study well. I still believe we shall have cows in this family through you, but we believe that as you pray hard, God shall open a gate for another avenue that will succeed. Members, time is not our best ally. I have come along with some few members of Apache District Local Council. I have a male youth councillor at the Lower Local Government Council, Honorable Lawrence Okelo, who have also traveled with me. I also have Honorable Caroline Jobal, who comes from here. She represents the interest of the people of Ibuje Sub-County and Ibuje Town Council. There she is. She is a family member here. With me, member, I have the condolence contribution sent through card job by the entire youth of Ibuje Sub-County, totaling to 50,000 shillings that I have been requested to give directly to the widow. I also have with me a total sum of shillings, 100,000 shillings, as a contribution from the entire women of Ibuje Sub-County through Caroline Jobal that have been requested to deliver directly to the widow. Members, I am praying that may the soul of our fallen brother rest in eternal peace, and may the good Lord reward immediately those who are involved in the bloodshed. With all this, I say for God and my country. I take this opportunity to invite my colleague brother, the Secretary Legal Affairs, Yudi Kosa. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Vice Chairperson, Lamu District Council Speakers Association, for the remarks you have made on behalf of the speakers of Lamu.
The presiding speaker, speakers, and deputy speakers. Present. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, Luak Mepashu, Luak Ukumu, Amoru Winning Christo. Honorable Speaker, solidarity must be seen to be done. I am happy to stand before you here to confirm that we in Uganda are standing together with the family of the late Ogwang, Robert Charles. here tonight, this is proof that we are in solidarity. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank so much the leadership of ULGA, Northern Uganda, for having organized this historic sitting. Honorable Speaker, I also want to thank all members of the district councils in Uganda who are present. I want to thank all the mourners for sparing their time to come and sit here to pay the last tribute to our son, father, brother, and friend, Richard Ogwang. Charles Robert Ogwang. My name is Lamek Ogwalwaike, Speaker Otuke District Local Council. I am also doubling as the Secretary, Legal Affairs of Uganda Speakers Association. Therefore, honorable colleagues, I therefore rise to pay tribute as a representative of UNICOSA. Honorable members and the mourners, it is so sad that the son of the soil, in pursuit of livelihood, in pursuit of seeking to support government in running its affairs, somebody is deployed and instead of retiring honorably, comes back in a coffin. This is so sad. On behalf of Uganda District Council speakers and on my own behalf, I want to submit with deep sorrow and regret that we received the news of the sudden shooting, killing, and burning of the vehicle which the late was using. As UNICOSA, we condemn this barbaric killing, and I want to say that state must highly put its interests in this case to investigate and, if possible, have the perpetrators hanged for this very grave offense. Honorable Speaker, this killing would have been avoided when we assumed our offices last year in May. There was a mess, but we learned how to harmonize and work together. It was rightly alluded to by one of the representatives of Bukwo District Local Government, who stated that the problem starts with the finance. Honorable Speaker, I want to state that when we joined, the budget for fuel for district chairperson of Otuke per quarter was only 1.5 million per quarter. You can imagine you are driving a double cabin and it is only 1.5. But how about for the CAO? It was 9.2. So if you meet people who do not serve God,